It was the wrong end.
Please don't.
Sorry.
All right, you're good, Wayne.
Okay, we're down to 1 minute. Are we turned on?
We are. Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of dark over here. I need a candle. Oh my gosh. Oh, let there be light. That's wonderful. Thank
How
you.
you doing?
All of a sudden,
Are those dimmable?
It's now 4
No
o'clock,
more necks.
May 6th, 2026. Peru City Utility Board meeting. First of all, I need a motion to approve the board minutes
I'll make a motion to approve board minutes
of April 15th.
as read.
Second.
Do we have any discussion regarding these board minutes? Okay. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Okay, I guess we did. Approval, the payment of claims in accordance with the Indiana State Board of Accounts. Codation 11-10-1.6, bracket C. I need a motion to approve these payments of claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Second it?
Thank you. Any discussion on the claims? You approved them all, Richard?
Yes, they're good.
They've been double checked.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Unanimous. The next regular meeting will be held here on Wednesday, May 20th, 2026 at 4 p.m. Do we have any public comment for anything?
Okay, last Saturday, our electricity went out. And I heard pop. He said our electricity's out. I knew exactly what pole it was. It was in front of our house. Okay.
Okay. Sandy, what's your last name?
Miller?
I'm sorry, I just didn't remember.
It's okay.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
And so he said, well, you need to call. And I said, well, because the well houses, usually it doesn't matter. But I don't know, for whatever reason, I decided to call. So I called that number you're supposed to call, you know, when over the weekend. And I got a gentleman, and he said, what's your address? I told him. He said, well, what name would that account be under? And I told him. And then I said, you know, my daughter's name's on there. And he said, do you have your account number? I said, no, I don't have my account number because I'm in the car and I'm leaving home. And he said, have you checked your breakers? No, I didn't check my breakers because we heard I know exactly what happened because I've lived there 47 years and it's like, this is not the first rodeo this has happened. But anyway, he said, well, he said, you have your account number. And I said, no, because I'm in the car. And I said, it comes out of my check. I mean, you take money out of my check every month. And anyway, so he said, well, I'm sorry. He said, when you can call back and give us some real information or that it's real, you know, he said, we can help you. I was pissed. So we went back to the house. I got my bill because I thought, well, that might be the problem. And I called back. I got a woman this time. And so I told her that I had called. The gentleman told me I needed, so we started out with that number. She said, I don't have anything. Okay, I got an address. I got a name. I said, I assure you I have an account. I assure you I have electricity with them. And she was kind. She said, I can't find anything. But she said, I'll try to turn it. The guy before said, we can't be sending a lineman out for someone that's just calling in. It's like, okay, well, whatever. So anyway, I got in a panic and I called Lee's mom to get some information. Well, so I knew another guy that worked so I called him and he said, just a minute. He said, I'll get back with you. So he called the lineman and the lineman said, she's just called. Because they went out 3:30 and it was probably 4 after when we got the call back. But that's okay. I don't have a problem with that as long as somebody will take my information and believe I exist. So only reason I'm here, I just want to make sure if there's a problem in the system that I want to be able to call and say, this is my name, I live at that address, and I don't have any electricity. He said he told me, he said, well, does your neighbors have any electric? And I said, I live down a half-a-mile driveway, I don't know. But then when we left, after we talked to the woman, there were, never see any outdoor lights on the house, but there were 3, and it was like, okay, they've got lights, it's just that, it's that pole like I thought. So anyway, I'm just here because I don't want it to happen to anybody else, and I won't say it being on a Saturday night, it was like a little frustrating because it's like, how's this work?
Sure. So we did contact the call center.
Okay.
We use that after hours call center. We did have a discussion with them and told them that we have a customer that was very upset and the interaction was inappropriate, she felt, and we want them to look into it, and they did, and they listened to the recording of that, and they felt it was inappropriate as well, and they apologized profusely, and they have disciplined that employee, and Mike reiterated with them that that's unacceptable for us, and they need to do better, or they won't be our call center anymore.
And I brought this in so they could make a copy, and she said she wanted to give it to her supervisor, and she said they'd already discussed this, that there's been several people that, like, when the software, whatever has to happen when they get that I'm not the first one that has complained that they're not in. So they're going to check into that. So I know from a different direction. But I just want to make you guys aware because I think it's not fair, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Sorry you were treated that way.
It's okay.
And we'll continue.
I didn't blame it on you guys,
No.
but I know when a call center, you know, because I can tell they weren't from here.
Right.
Because I'm trying to tell him I'm down the long lane, and he was like,
They're out of Bloomington.
Yeah.
This particular one, I believe, is out of Bloomington.
Yeah.
Yeah. We try to keep it at least in-state. but,
$18,000 a year.
So, yeah.
okay,
So
thank you, I appreciate it.
We'll certainly follow up on that part of it.
Yeah.
That's just as concerning as.
Yeah, and like she said, that I'm not the first one, there's been more than one, so it obviously for the whole system of whatever, it might be a good thing to check it.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
definitely have things we can always do better. And
It's all right.
thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah.
Yes,
If
thank
it
you for
doesn't
coming,
get fixed.
taking the time to come in
Yeah.
and bringing your
And
statement.
you and
so
Cameron
that
both
we-
have my number, so you.
Yeah, I know.
You could have
I have-
skipped.
I-
You could have skipped to that, and we. it would-
Well, I didn't think about you. I don't think about
And I appreciate that. But you know,
I had
Make
Lee's
sure it's
mom's
taken
number,
care of.
so I started there. He was on pole, so I couldn't get any help from him.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you for
very
all
much.
you've done. Yeah.
Okay, that was good. Old business, do we have any old business to discuss?
No.
Okay. New business, we're gonna do 6A, we'll start there, and need a motion to approve the Peru Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 76 to Thieneman Construction Attachment 6A.
I'll make a motion to approve 6A.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion on that? Okay. Vote, please. Unanimous. 6B, approve the Peru Sewage Works SRF disbursement request number 77 to Lockmuller Group, attachment 6B.
I'll make a motion to accept 6B as written.
Thank you.
Second motion.
Thank you. Discussion, please. Okay. Take a vote on this then. Unanimous. 6C, approve the Peru Sewage Works SRF distribution request number 78 to Hazen and Sawyer, attachment 6C.
Make a motion to approve 6C.
Thank you.
Second it.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, we'll have a vote then. Unanimous, thank you.
So to clarify, those were all three for the wastewater treatment plant portion or phase one, we're gonna call it. The original loan amount of that was $41,880,000. We have, after that last disbursement of $70,000, we have $8,850,297 left available from that bond.
Okay. Thank you. 6D, approve Peru Water Utility SRF disbursement request number 15, Westler Engineering.
I'll make a motion to accept attachment 6D as written.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion, please. Okay, we'll take a vote. Unanimous, thank you. 6E, to approve the Peru Water Utility SRF disbursement request number 16, Westler Engineering attachment 6E.
I'll make a motion to approve attachment 6E.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have a discussion? Okay, thank you. All those in favor? And that's unanimous. 6F, approve Peru Water Utility SRF disbursement request number 17, Westler Engineering attachment 6F.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve 6F.
Second the motion.
Thank you. Discussion on any of this?
We sure have a lot of Whistler.
It's their name.
Okay. We'll take a vote then. Unanimous. 6G, approve Peru Water Utility SRF disbursement request number 18, Cinnamon Construction attachment 6G.
I'll make a motion to approve attachment 6G.
I'll second.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion on that? Let's see. Okay, thank you. Pretty much takes care of
Need
that.
to vote?
Oh, we didn't vote. Just run away with this. Okay, yes, vote. And it is
6G.
G.
I vote.
Would you like to vote? Thank you.
I voted. I thought I raised my hand.
Okay, it's unanimous.
So all of those were the lead service line, phase one, and the water plant filter media replacement. So that's what those are for.
Okay.
All four of those were a combination of.
Okay, the city administration update. The mayor. Nada. Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, the mayor didn't give me anything to report on his behalf. We do have some projects, but just either too early to announce right now, or I hesitate to say anything yet. But if you don't mind, I had two questions. Am I imagining something, or quite a while back, was it said that, this project we're doing long-term control, that there was some letter that came from the IDM or whatever that said years ago that we were in, that what we had done up to that point was good enough, and then they pulled it back and said, well, we've got to do what we're doing today. Am I imagining that? Okay, all right.
That was the story that we've been given.
Okay, so but nobody really has seen that letter.
You had stated that we had searched for the letter.
Right,
with-
okay.
with
I-
no-
Find it.
There was no proof that that letter was.
Yeah, so that was one of those.
Okay, I thought I wouldn't imagine it, and I
No,
brought
sir,
it up to somebody.
you did not imagine that, and maybe we imagined being told that. and-
Okay. And then just for clarification, because I've been asked this a couple times, the utilities eliminated 2 water plant operator positions. Is the positions that are currently, I think there's like 2 positions that are being I don't know, advertised or to be filled at this time. They're not those positions.
They are
right?
not. No, they're replacing other people that have moved on or retired.
Okay,
Yeah, there were positions we already had, we didn't create, that are open now. Yeah,
okay,
those positions will not be filled.
okay, all right.
Yep.
I just wanted to clear.
No, fair question.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Stevenson? Okay, thank you so much. Moving on to the city attorney's update. Mr. Kern.
I was pulling up the judicial agreement, the agreed judgment for the long-term control plan originally through the court, and I was gonna give you the date. At least the most recent agreement was done, and that was updated on September 25th of 2007.
Okay.
So I don't know if anything came before that, if that letter, that
Yeah,
this imaginary letter,
That
was it circulated before then or after then?
Yeah, that's the one we're living in, the world we're living in now from 2007.
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right.
2007 is the most recent thing as far as what we're required to do.
There was another one in 1988, 1990, I think. They were living under until, plant rehab
2013,
and,
was it?
yeah.
2013. Josh, 2013.
Possibly. I don't remember.
2007, I thought.
We had something else in 13, I think, as well, but in that
Two
area.
thousand seven is what I recall is,
That's the 30 year, that's where we
Yeah.
get that 30 year after,
yeah.
yeah.
And Mary, I will update the board that the overpass across 31 had been sold to Nickel Plate Trail. However, in the deed, the Railroad Fest Corporation reserves the right to deal with any utility easements or anything along those lines. So we're gonna hopefully ignore that guy until he just goes away. So
So he did retain the right to deal with
yeah, the
easements.
bottom of that, which I followed up in that email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I clarify, what, are we talking about, out by the, sorry,
Oh, no.
out by the base?
Yeah,
You were laughing at the situation.
I'm laughing at the guy, yes, this guy, like,
That goes over 30.
The overpass there,
Okay,
yes.
all right.
the one that's been hit by semis and stuff. And,
Okay.
yeah.
which now Nickel Plate, I don't know what they paid for it, if they paid anything for it. I mean, they can only go as far as to prove utility owned, so.
At this point, they don't have an easement from us yet, but I mean, we've discussed giving them one to the museum, so.
Okay. Manager's report?
Thank you. Start off with the long-term control plan update. Really, as far as the storage project goes, we're kind of that lull time frame. All of the, you get that peak if we get financing and everything. So right now the contractor's working on material procurement, workforce and resource management, scheduling out when we get that far, and then us construction schedule. And once we get, we're in communication with them, but that's kind of their mandate at this point. So when they get their resources all together and they know when and where and what and how and in what order, that's when we'll be a little bit more active and have more dates for you as far as breaking ground and where and when and storage and materials and things like that. As far as the plant goes, we had a discussion last meeting about pull this up real quick. Bear with me. About where we were at with the UV and the fact that there was 36 modules that had to be replaced, right, on the Trojan units, on the UV units, the new units. I'll explain that here in a second. Have they finished those? I know they were very close. Okay, so they finished replacing those UV modules. And we talked about the fact that the effluent of the wastewater wastewater. We need to be clear, this is wastewater. There's no tolerance whatsoever for E. coli in drinking water, 0. So we're talking about wastewater. We don't want to. So in the effluent of the wastewater that we had, total coliform and E. coli was high because of the way the plant's running. We have half the plant running, and the fact that these modules were defective on the UVs. They weren't working correctly. So where we're at on that is we went back with our engineers, went back with the state, and started really looking into the testing and how it comes out. So we use IDEX as kind of the standard testing company we use with their method, and this is kind of what it is here. They test, it's just a simple test. It's what we use every day for E. coli, total coliforms in the system when we test it. And what it tests for is it shows when they take the sample. I'm not going to give you the video on it, but when they take the sample, they add the reagent, they pour it into a tray, they vacuum seal the tray, and they let it sit. They bake it, so to speak, and then they test it for total coliforms and E. coli. And they use a black light, and it shows, it glows, it's fluorescent. It fluoresces, whatever, however you want to say it. So really what it, I'm not gonna show you the video. What it looks like.
The overflow well is a large.
What it looks like is that it turns yellow. It's got coliform in it. You put it under the black light and it glows. It's got E. coli. That's the simplest version of this test. Okay, it's way more detailed, and these guys are very skilled at what they do here. Okay, so I'm dumbing it down for me, not. So if they put it under the black light after however long they have to wait, and it glows, then there's E. coli. But if it's yellow, there's just total coliform, and that's not what they're testing for. They're by E. coli. They still need to show what total coliform is in their. So when they do it, it glows. I've got a point here. I promise. I'm fumbling around here. So if you see like that one, see the yellows that aren't glowing. Well, so the problem that we're having, is that it all glows, but it doesn't glow yellow because there's so much organic stuff in there from having half the plant and the whole plant being upset. We've always, when there are times when they're taking tests and they glow but they're not yellow, it's very rare. But when it happens, we count that because we always have it. Very many of the plants out there actually count that. They just count it. Boom, it glows. It's E. coli, even though it's not yellow and glowing. So that tray, almost the complete tray was glowing because of the plant being so upset. So we naturally don't want to underreport because that's bad. There's lots of money coming at you that way from fines. So we just report total, and so went back and looked and talked to the state testing, the state lab, and they're like, well, almost everybody does it that way, and that's really not. You're supposed to just count the yellows, and we're like, oh, that's good to know. Why don't you tell the rest of the state that?
Yeah.
So once again, Peru gets to change things with the state, I guess. I mean, they're just like, oh yeah. We went back and read those testing, and yeah, you're just supposed to report the yellow, but we know a lot of people just report everything. So we were being over protective, making sure that we don't want to misreport. We never want to do that. So of course, our samples, we got rid of our samples, so we can't just go back and say, well, we know we passed over these times, because you can't. I mean, it's against the law to go back and change the books, no matter. So we still may get a letter, but we're working with them on that, and we can prove that we've been fine and it's worked out so far. Do you have any update on that?
No, so we have 16 days where we can't go back. Once we first contacted the state and said, hey, we're failing, early in the month, they suggested that we run 100% samples and 10% samples. the idea behind that is if you're truly failing, your 100% sample will be too numerous to count, but your 10% sample will be some number that you can report, because they would like to see you do that rather than report it's too numerous. So our 10% samples started passing, like no E. coli. And so we started asking the state, we started asking the engineers, they had an operations specialist, and that's when they came back and were like, hey, this is technically how you're supposed to do this. And it's like, oh no. So we do have some that we can't go back. We're gonna have exceedances for April. They probably were not failures, but we can't go back and say, we don't have proof to say we know. So we report it as exceedances. It's 1 month. Generally, you have to be failing for several months for IDEM to start really pursuing something with you. It can happen. We have in the past, rarely, had something happen where we did have, an upset plant and failed for a month, but not like this.
So we're in good shape. Now we understand the state figures. They reached out to IDEX. Like the engineers reached out to IDEX, the company itself, and said, hey, this is what we're getting. This doesn't make this full sample and this 10% sample makes 0 sense. There should be a correlation between the two, right? And they're like, well, no, that doesn't make any sense. So they spent some time with IDEX, and so now, there are plants across the state that are going to be doing it different because of us. So
When you say a 10%
Trailblazers.
sample,
yeah,
when you say a 10% sample, is that then just diluted with potable water?
Distilled
water.
water.
Okay.
so that's where we're at on
Thins
that.
out the mix, so to speak.
And then whatever your results are, you multiply by 10.
Yeah.
So it is the organic materials present that aren't tested. We don't test for those, and they're okay to pass through to a point. So we test for other organic materials, and we have limits on those, but not in this test. And it just throws the whole test off. And the whole point of using this test is so those organic materials don't mess with the test, because this is kind of if you read about the test and how it works, organic materials aren't supposed to impact the test, but because there's so many of them, it's just an overwhelming test. Yeah, but we could still get an accurate E. coli sample, total coliform sample. So we'll be good. We are good, and we're always learning something new, especially when we're doing new processes with the plant, and the plant's going to work a little differently than it has because of the rehab. So, anything else you think of on that one?
No,
Okay.
I hate that it happened.
Yeah, but we wanted to make sure you guys were informed, and that we hate to come to you with a problem without at least a solution or a process to fix it. So, just the problem was in the process itself and the organic compounds in it. So, we had an EPA inspection on behalf of the DoD and the U.S. Air Force at the Grissom Water Plant. Again, as far as we know, it went well. They didn't have any comments there. They were more focused on how we serve the base and whether on the lead service line inventory. The comment period is it'll take them 7 weeks for comments on that. We don't feel like there's going to be. I mean, they always have to say something, but we don't feel like there's going to be any issues there. They weren't worried about the housing or the industrial park. They were worried about serving the base. It seemed pretty positive from my understanding. Excuse me. We'll pass that along when we get that. D-Trash the Wabash on the 25th of April was a success. 103 people attended. Not quite the record, but that was quite a bit for a spring. Collected 400 pounds of trash, including a sofa, carpet, quite a bit of carpet to outfit a bedroom or a room, mattress. So somebody just cleared out their living room or a bedroom or something and dumped it on the side. A mile and a half of riverbank was what's cleaned up. So west of the wastewater plant on both sides of the Wabash. We are currently under a State Board of Account audit, just for the utilities, not the city, although Andrea plays a big role in that as well. Still working through that. We kind of welcome that just make sure it just gives us some guardrails to make sure that we're doing everything okay, and then if we're not, then we can correct it and move on. But we fixed the gateway stuff, uploading, and we got all that taken care of from the last audit. So I'm sure Michelle doesn't feel like it's a good thing, but she's done a good job. Our people have done a good job, and she's working well with Andrea, and they're getting that done. So we'll give you the results of that. If they don't have a timeline, any particular timeline at this point?
Is there anything they're focusing on, or is it just taking samples from different things?
It's just the regular, they usually come in and do 2 years,
Yeah.
but because of the loans and stuff, that's why they're doing it at a year instead of 2.
Okay. That's what triggered it. Yeah.
I was going to talk about your issue, but we don't have to do that now. You took care of that for me. Thank you. Just to make sure that we addressed it, and we do take those things seriously, and we never want to treat anyone as they're not important.
Well, I didn't blame any of you guys. I felt, because I've always had good service.
But they do work for us, so
I know
still have to be
that,
working.
I get that, but I'm not gonna say I wasn't upset with the call center.
Yep, I don't blame you. And then I'll be out of the office May 11th through the 15th. Be checking emails, be available by phone or text. May not get back with you right away, but I will get back with you, I promise.
You're gonna be out of the office when?
The 11th through the 15th. Next week.
That's not very long.
And we had a boil order, right?
Oh, yep, I had that on my list, I'm sorry. We had a boil order, should be getting the
Tomorrow?
test back, yeah, tomorrow morning sometime. And
It's way at the west end of Fifth Street, like the last 2 blocks, and then that little block of forest. Contractor was working on the main, or working on the service lines as they dug down to the service lines using a Vactor. They were trying to pull the lead services off, and they popped off the main. And the hole was big enough that 2 pumps couldn't keep up with it, so at that point you then throttle down what you can in order to fix the main, and pressure went low enough. If your pressure goes below 20 psi, as a precaution, you issue a boil order to those customers that are affected. So because we had the valves, we could isolate it to just that few blocks. And this is the beginning of this project.
that's what I said.
We are touching these mains. This is probably not the last one.
No.
Hopefully they're few and far between.
I mean, these mains
Assuming some of these connections are pretty old.
Yes. Look at the age of the
Yeah.
houses.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of it's probably 60, 70, 80 years old.
fragile. Yep. So, and some of these corks have been replaced a couple times, and some of them we're gonna nick some that are there but aren't there anymore, that they disconnected but left and plugged, and yeah, it's gonna. Thank you for reminding me. It was on my list.
It's in my district.
Yeah. Nope. Yeah. So we should be getting some. That test should be back here enough for us to be able to.
First one came back good, negative. We're waiting to hear on the second sample that we brought in this morning. Tomorrow morning we should hear and issue the boil order lifted notice.
I think that's it.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
What are all those bags up there? They're white and they're black.
That's our fill, isn't it?
The filter media
Yeah.
for the
The wells.
water filters.
They're the what? What?
It's the filter media for the water.
Oh, the
filters.
filter meat.
Yeah, that's what goes in the pits.
You know how swimming pools have sand filters?
That's our
Picture that,
sand. That's our sand.
The filter is the size of a swimming pool.
I think that would make an interesting picture to get a picture of all that medium out there and be like, because people don't understand that there's still people that think that the wastewater gets put back into the main system. Like, it would be neat to have that and be like, think of a sand, that's a perfect what's the right word?
It doesn't go back into the drinking water after it goes through the treatment plant?
It does not.
That's good.
There are many people confused about that. Just to throw that out there, like they don't understand it gets treated to be put back in the river, not to drink. Like metaphor, yes, metaphor, analogy. I couldn't figure out which one I needed, but that's a good one.
Thank you.
So,
Is that it for everybody? Okay. Adjournment, I need a motion, please.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
And second, and vote unanimous. Plug your ears, Richard, here we go.